Hello riders from around the world, I hope you are well. So, city riding, usually it is qualified like one of the most dangerous activities you can have with your motorcycle. To ride in the city, for many of you, sounds like a very dangerous and very difficult job, and you try to avoid it for any case. But I'm here to tell you that if you follow the regulations and if you keep riding with a certain style, you will be fine. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna jump on the bike and ride around the city of Berlin, and I hope that I'm gonna see and meet enough situations to tell you that there is nothing to worry about and nothing to scare about as long as you're a careful rider. First and very important is always to wear your gear. Everything, your helmet, your jacket, your pants, your gloves, your boots, everything. You have to dress to the right, not to the slide. All the time, every time. And it doesn't matter how short or how long is going to be your ride. Every time, no exception. Even if you go to supermarket just to buy a milk, dress or go and walk. This is first and very important tip. The second tip is going to be ride slowly. Ride slowly and carefully. So, the speed limits are usually 50 kilometers per hour. So when you ride with 50 kilometers per hour, you have more than enough time to see everything around you, to react on everything around you. When you ride with 50 kilometers per hour and you need to stop immediately, actually you have, I think was about 14 meters to stop and about 8 or 9 meters for reaction. So you have always more than 20 meters just to be able to react and stop. But if you ride with 80 kilometers per hour, it is double. You have about 50 or more meters just to stop. But the reason I'm telling you to ride slowly is because when you ride slowly, like me now, you have time to see everything around you. Okay, so I can see one car in front of me, one red on the right, one Volkswagen on the left. So I have time to look on the mirror, turn on my indicator, go into the right. Okay, that's good. Also, I can check my left mirror and so on and so on. So I have enough time. But let me show you something else. Okay, let's see now. Do we have time to make something? Do we have time to react or to do something? What about if these guys turn right immediately? What about if these guys make something stupid? So when you ride fast, you don't have time. You don't have time for mistakes. This is when you ride fast. Okay, if the road is clean like that, everything is fine. But if something happens in front of us, we have no time for reaction. Let's make this exercise again. Just to convince you that there is a huge difference between riding slowly and fast. Okay, let's go now to the right lane and ride slowly with 50 kilometers per hour. You see, I can see all of these bicyclists here, the cars are here. If any of these cars start to go on the street without indicator, I will have enough time to react and stop. But look at now the difference. I have no time for reaction, no time. Everything is just limited. Everything is just on the edge. Yes, if no one change the position, if everything is safe, yes, no problem. I'll be back safe at home with no problems. But if somebody of these drivers decided in last moment to change the position without even seeing me, because I'm so fast, they cannot even see me when I'm so fast, and you're done, that's everything. So the second very important is ride slowly. 50 kilometers per hour are more than enough. If you're in hurry, I don't know, start on time, but don't do it, please. Don't ride fast. Don't be like one of these riders who are risking their life all of the time. I have to confess, when I was 20 years old, I was the same. I was riding on the sport bikes and I was riding around the city with 150, 160, even 200 kilometers per hour around the city without any gear, without even helmet. And I believe that everything is under control. But now I understand that I was just a lucky guy who just got a good luck and survived. But this is not right, guys. This is not right. So the third important thing I'm gonna tell you is exactly what I do. I usually use the right lane like this one or the top left lane. Sometimes, of course, I use it even in the middle if I have to, but if I have this possibility, I always ride on the right or in the left. And there is a simple reason behind it. The reason is that now when I'm on the right lane, I have only one chance somebody to surprise me and cut me. It is from the left side. Okay, it is possible to happen here if one of these cars start to go on the street without indicator, but this possibility is very, very limited. If I change the lane and go to the top left now, the only possible surprise could come from the right side. So it is another one safe position. But if I am in the middle now, I have two possibilities. One from the right and one from the left. So this is something very simple, but every time when I have this chance, I just do it. Another one tip I'm gonna tell you, and usually they already teach you when you're making your license, but I hope they did it. But if they are not, I'm gonna tell you this. Every time when you make maneuvers and when you have to change your line, of course you have to turn on your indicator, but always look from your shoulder, always. You don't need to turn the whole head, but at least to look from your shoulder, because it doesn't matter how good are your mirrors, sometimes they're not good enough and you have this blind spot. So when you turn your head just a little bit around your shoulder, you will see everything you have to see if necessary. The next tip I'm gonna give you is always to keep at least 2 fingers on the clutch all the time and 1 finger or 2 fingers on the brake all the time. You don't need to grab and hold the handlebar with all of your fingers. Actually, the motorcycles are designed very well and they are so stable that they can easily run without your help at all. So have a look now. Even if you leave the bike at all, like me now, it will run without you more 100 or 150 meters and then will go down when the inertia is not enough. So you don't need to hold all the grips with all of your fingers. Keep 2 fingers on the left side on the clutch and 1 or 2 fingers on the brake. This will give you the chance to react faster. When you don't have this, when you have to press the clutch, for example, or the brake, first you have to release the grip and then to move your fingers and grab the clutch or grab the brake. And this is a very small or very tiny part of the second, but this tiny part of the second could be the difference between life and death. So always keep your fingers on the brakes and on the clutch. So by the way, this is the Reichstag. The Reichstag is the most important building for every German. Actually, this is the first German parliament built at the end of 19th century. Okay, I told you, you have to keep your fingers on the levers all the time, ready to stop, ready to press and release. It is the same with your rear brake. Keep your foot ready to press the brake at any moment. I'm gonna give you another one tip. I don't know did you use it or not, but I'm gonna tell you this. So every time when you plan to stop at the traffic light like me now, just before the traffic light, change your gear to the first, and when you stop, then neutral. And when the traffic light is changed, you're ready to press on first gear and go. The reason I'm telling you that is because sometimes when you don't do this, when for example you press the clutch, stop at the traffic light and then try to find your neutral, it is very difficult or impossible. You have to move the bike left and right to find the proper gear. And what it happens, for example, you've been on the 3rd gear, you see the traffic light is red, you press the clutch and you stop at the traffic light on the 3rd gear, and then you try to find the neutral, but you cannot, because as I said, sometimes it's just difficult. It's not easy to find it, and especially in some models, or if the oil is not good. And then the traffic light is red, you start to go, but you're on the third, you actually choke the bike, and the cars behind are horning and stuff like that. Just to avoid it, okay, traffic light, third, second, first gear. I'm on the first gear now. When I stop, neutral, and I'm ready to go, not on the clutch. And when you stay at the traffic light, always release the clutch. You don't need to hold it all the time. I know that probably when you make your license, they teach you that at the traffic light you have to be on the clutch always, but don't do it. It's stupid. You don't need to do it all the time. One of the most problematic things when you ride around the city, or the moment when the most of the accidents happens, it's when you turn left, because you have to go up to the middle of the traffic light and wait all the cars to come and then to move. If you follow the rules, guys, if you follow the rules, it's impossible to happen. Don't go before you're 100% sure that everybody already saw you. Don't go on last second on full gas to cross the traffic light. Every time when you're crossing the traffic light, you have to be with 4 different eyes. You have to be careful. You have to expect everybody from everywhere. It doesn't matter you're with right away or not. Remember it. Of course, I don't need to tell you that you have to avoid all of these tram lines, like this one in the middle. They can slide you really easy when you ride around the city. If you try to cross it, just make it with a big angle, not like this. You need to go like this or like that, with big angle. Okay, one of the reasons to have motorcycles is to be possible to avoid the traffic. I'm not gonna tell you to stop doing it, but you have to do it with, how I have to say, with some kind of careful manners. Okay, so I did it on the right side, but I was in front of everybody before the traffic light turned to green, and I was ready to start immediately. This is very important, because if you are not calculate the time properly and you're cut right in the middle when all of the cars are start, it could finish really bad. Okay, so here I have a classic situation of traffic. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to move between the cars slowly, first gear. Okay, if they let me to go, keep your feet on the pegs. It's very important to feel the bike and to feel more stable. And if you see the traffic light turn to green like now, stop and wait. You don't have to be between these two cars if they start, because they can cut you or push you without even notice it. So when you try to move between the cars and see the green light, stop immediately and go back to the line. The next tip I'm gonna give you is always to keep distance. You see how much distance I have between me and the car in front of me. Keep as more as possible distance. If you have more distance, you have time for reaction. If you don't have distance, you don't have time for reaction. So simple. Even if you're in a hurry, if you delay or whatever, the distance is not gonna make you to ride fast. The distance only will make the risk, or you will take unnecessary risk to hit in the car in front of you if the car stops immediately. So you don't have to go and stick on the back of the car. Just keep distance. Like now, see? I have about almost 20 meters, so I have enough time to react. And if you use a bus line, like me now, it's forbidden, but if you decide to use the bus line to move faster, again, always do it slowly, because sometimes when the people sitting too long in the traffic and they decide to go to the bus lane to move fast, and they do not expect somebody small like you. They usually look on the mirror and see there is no one. They expect to see a big bus. They not expect somebody like you to come so fast and small spot, and they can cut you. So if you use the bus line, do it slowly, not with 100 kilometers per hour, woo, to overtake everybody. Just do it slowly. Like now, you see, I ride on the bus line, but I do it slowly. So if, for example, this silver Volkswagen decided to go out, I will have time to react. If the red car decided to go to the right, I will have time to react. If the Volkswagen or the this Mini Cooper, I will have time to react. Everything is distance and enough time to react. And the distance and the slow speed, they work together. So if you ride slowly and have enough distance, everything is fine. You shouldn't be afraid to ride in the city. It could be a great fun sometimes, like now, for example. It's already sunset, the traffic is not so bad, so I can ride with more pleasure. Look at now this guy. So what he is doing now. So guys, just to summarize everything, you have to ride slowly to leave a good distance between you and the car in front of you. If possible, keep the left or right lane and keep your fingers on the levers. That's it. That is everything. And the rest is just practice.